Are we going through a recession or are we not? Now, many say yes because the GDP recently reported a second quarter of negative numbers. And then there are those experts that say we are not because of unemployment and other things that are taking place in the world. Either way, as a farm owner, are you prepared for a recession? Matter of fact, are you prepared for the worst thing that could ever happen on your journey to building $1 million consulting firm? Well, have no fear because in this episode, I will provide you with 4 strategies that will help you recession proof your consulting firm. So, you know what I want you to do, right? Stay tuned. Welcome to Say Yes to Profits, a virtual CFO firm that helps consultants gain clarity, control, and confidence in their numbers so they reduce business taxes and build profitable $1 million businesses. We exist to eradicate small business failure, so subscribe today, and as a result, we will make it rain money in your business. It is time for you to say yes to profits. Hello, consultants. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. I am Octavia, CEO of Say Yes to Profits. At Say Yes to Profits, we empower 6-figure consultants to manifest, maximize, and maintain profitable $1 million firms. Our CFO services strategically and uniquely combine bookkeeping and accounting with financial coaching, consulting, and business financial planning exclusively for consultants and service-based businesses. Now, because of this unique approach, over 90% of our clients grow anywhere between 30% and 350% within 12 months. So if you desire that same success, you are in your right place. Now, while joining me today, be sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons right now. That really helps me out, and I thank you very much for hitting the like, subscribe, and share buttons. Yes. Now, here's what I want to discuss with you today. Is your consulting firm recession proof? For a consulting firm owner, a recession can be the most scariest and stressful time ever. If we are going through a recession, and let's say for an example, you lose a client or 2 or 10, or a couple of projects that was going to kick off actually stalled. If this happened, how long can your consulting firm last? Now, if this occurs, you're going to have declining revenue. If you begin to experience declining revenue for whatever reason, can you comfortably cover your operating costs, pay your team a salary, and invest in the firm's growth over the next 6 months? Or is it going to be pretty challenging to survive the next 6 months, or the next 90 days, or the next month, or even the next week? Now, depending on your answers to the questions that I just asked, will determine how aggressively you must be at implementing the 4 strategies that I'm going to provide you today. Now, as a complement to the 4 strategies, I've also created a free mini series called 7 Financial Mistakes Keeping Consultants from 7 Figures. You want to go ahead and download that free mini series at sayyes2profits.com/mistakes. Sayyes2profits.com/mistakes. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the first strategy. Number 1, building and maintaining an emergency fund. Here's the thing. I highly recommend you build a 6-month emergency fund based on the total operating expenses needed for your consulting firm. What does that look like? So let me give you an example. So let's say your total operating expenses for the last 6 months included your accountant's fee, which you should always have an accountant. If you need one, shameless plug, talk to us. Utilities, rent, office supplies, telephone, marketing, payroll, and any other additional expenses that you need to operate your business. You're going to take a look at all of them over the last 6 months. And let's say on average, it costs you $10,000 to operate your business. Where again, I'm recommending a 6-month emergency fund. So that means that you want to aggressively save $60,000, right? With a 6-month emergency fund, you are proactively positioning your firm to be recession proof no matter what happens. All right. So let's go on to the next strategy. So the next strategy is to perform an expense audit. So now I want you to take a look at those same operating expenses that we just outlined in strategy number 1. And I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Number 1, will there be or has there been a return on this investment? So let's say, for an example, you have several team members, right? And you hired a marketing firm, right? And the marketing firm has not positioned you to generate any new leads. Or you have a team member that's constantly riding the clock and they're not saving you money, they're not helping you generate revenue, and they're not saving you time. That means there hasn't been a return on the investment for either that marketing company or that team member. So maybe you don't need them on the team. The next thing that I want you to ask is this cost helping me to generate more revenue or save time? And if the answer is no, it is possible that you do not need that. And the final question that I want you to ask is, am I using whatever this is consistently? Because a lot of times you'll have membership dues and subscriptions to different softwares and you're not using them. So if you're not using them, cut that cost immediately. You want to cut costs in a way that still will enable you to operate effectively and efficiently, but operate in a lean way, just in case we are in a recession or it's about to start. Okay? Now, let's go on to the next strategy. So the next strategy, I want you to niche down. Now, I'd like to call this identifying your $1 million service offering and identifying your $1 million client. Why do I want you to niche down? When you niche down on your $1 million service offering, you become an expert in that area. When you identify your $1 million client, which would be the client that you know you can help solve their pain points and fix their problem, you become an expert with working with those particular clients and providing that particular service. So, perfect example, I'll use my firm. We provide CFO services to consultants and service-based business owners. We've worked with consultants and service-based business owners over the last several years, and we know the pain points that they're experiencing as it relates to their finances, their accounting, their bookkeeping, and things like that. The strategy and understanding the numbers and leveraging the numbers, we understand their problems. We get it. We were once there as a consulting firm ourselves, right? So we've niched down into our $1 million client. We've identified our $1 million service. We only focus on CFO services. And when you do that the same way that we did, you become an expert in that area. And when you become an expert in that area, you can charge more. But you have to increase your knowledge and you have to get crystal clear on that client. So that way you can talk to them on their pain points and you can solve their pain points quickly. All right. So, moving on to the final strategy, I recommend that you create multiple streams of revenue from inside of your firm. So, you're probably wondering, well, what do you mean from inside of my firm? Well, I highly recommend that you have several strategies that are aligned with the services that you provide and the life cycle of your ideal client. Right? So let me break this down for you just a little more. So what you want to do is you want to think of 4 different service lines from that $1 million service that you're going to provide your client. Okay. So Stay with me now because I'm going to break this down. So you're going to have an elite service. That elite service is the highest investment you could make, the highest investment a client can make to work with you. But for this level of investment, they get more personal time with you, they get more personal time with your team, and you provide them with a lot of value, right? And sometimes even unlimited support, depending on your consulting firm. And then you have your target service. Now, your target service is the mid-level, and you're actually going to build your $1 million service around this target area. And then you can create the elite and the next service area that we're going to talk about, or revenue stream. But for your target service, ideally that $1 million client, they can afford this service, and this is really where you want them to fall. And it's an added extra bonus if they invest at the elite level. Okay. Then you have your base service. Now, your base service will be for those same ideal clients, but maybe they're not ready to invest at the target level, but you don't want to lose them. Then they can fall at your base revenue stream. And then the last one would be your passive product or service. Now, your passive product or service is where you make money while you sleep. This is a continuity item, right? You make it one time, you work maybe a good amount up front, and then you make money from it over and over and over again. Remember, I said you make money while you sleep. And there's nothing like waking up to the You Got Money emails where you make money while you're away, while you're asleep, while you're doing whatever you're doing, but you're not working, but you're still making money. That is your passive product or service. These are your 4 revenue streams that you want to set up. And again, you want to identify that $1 million client and identify the growth that they will achieve by working with your company. And based on that growth, your services are set up to align with that growth. So no matter what level they are, they can invest at you at each level, and you don't lose them after you help fix one problem and then they go to someone else. Okay. So I hope that's clear, and I hope you all have a clear understanding of that. But definitely feel free to leave any of your questions or comments below. All right. Now, what I've given you are 4 strategies to recession-proof your consulting firm. And as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you download the free mini series, 7 Financial Mistakes Keeping Consultants from 7 Figures. That will complement today's episode, and it will really help you gain financial clarity, control, and confidence so that you build a profitable, successful, long-lasting $1 million business. Okay. So go to sayyestoprofits.com/mistakes. sayyestoprofits.com/mistakes. Now, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave your questions or comments below and I will answer them. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons right now. Okay. Now, this has been Octavia Conner. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Until next time, you know what I'm about to say, right? Say yes to profits. Toodles. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Download your free gift from this episode by clicking the link in the description. Also connect with me on Instagram at Octavia Conner CFO. And if you would like a glimpse into how we help our consulting clients manifest, maximize, and maintain profitable $1 million firms, schedule a discovery session today at sayyestoprofits.com/session. Until next time, say